What up, everyone? Welcome to our Saturday Sports Talk live show.
What's up?
With me, of course, we got Picksburgh in the house. What up, buddy?
Living the dream, brother. Living the dream.
I hear you. How's things? How's collecting?
Collecting is good, man. Like, I have so many Okoros that are brand new, thanks to Marty. Like, Dakota, what's up, my guy? Good to see you, dude.
What up?
Always awesome to have the not so anonymous Sports Cards Anonymous in the house. I love that logo too. Like, dude, you need to do something like that, Nate. Look how sick his logo is with the beard.
That's pretty nasty. It's hard to see on the screen, but I could see it.
Yeah, it's dope. Joe Deals, what up, my man?
What
Good
up,
to see you, bro? Hope you're doing well.
We got someone from our Facebook group in here.
Facebook, what up?
Come hang with us on YouTube. We can't see your name or whatever, but we appreciate you being here.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
You've been watching a lot of the playoffs and everything?
I've been trying to, man. I've been keeping like so busy lately, so I've been catching like snippets here and there. But man, like I've been super impressed with some guys. You know what I mean? Like guys that I've already been like pretty big on to begin with. But man, Ja Morant, dude, like is he not showing folks that he's the real deal right now? You know what I mean? Like that dude is nasty. You know, you got Luka Doncic playing out of his mind, even though they lost last night. You know what I mean? That guy is like literally going to be the face of the NBA like very soon. Like could you imagine like Kawhi leaves the Clippers next year and goes to Dallas and teams up with Luka? Like who's going to stop that team?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, my God, like that'd be nasty.
Dude, the one guy that I've been super impressed with it, and he doesn't get any type of like love or any type of stuff in the hobby or really in the NBA is Dylan Brooks, man. He has turned into this defensive machine, and he has put up some points. In the first game, I believe it was, versus Utah, he scored 31 points. And anytime you can get that type of production, it takes a lot of the stress off of your main stars like Durant, Jonas Valanciunas, Jaren Jackson, who he shows flashes of brilliance, but that first game he kind of threw up some trash numbers or whatever. But man, Morant had 47 points. The last game he played, that's why I think a lot of people kind of thought of him whenever he first came to the league that he was going to be this huge like scoring machine type of guy, but he's kind of went to that mix role, where he's playing point guard, he's putting up points and everything like that. What up, Spider?
Spider's in the house. Good to see you, my guy. Boom. Right back at you, my man. At you. Yeah, man, like, but watching even like last night, just Luka do what Luka does, man. Like, I'm just thinking I need to buy more Luka. You know what I mean? Because like where his stuff is right now, even though the market's down, like, dude, like he's just the real deal. Like, barring injury, what's going to stop that dude from running the league? Like, he's that good already. It's his third year. Like, it's insane, man. Blows my mind how good he is already.
That's why I literally didn't really sell anything, especially my rookies. If not anything, I've gained, rookies of his and stuff like that because I know he's going to be that type of player. I mean, unless he has some type of injury that just turns him into basically a spot-up shooter where he can't drive and everything else because he's not the fastest guy in the world. You know what I mean? But he's definitely a guy that, is the total package right now and doing his thing.
Yep. Master Damas says Matisse Thybulle and Jason Tatum battles for the next 10 years. Yeah, that's going to be nasty.
I like Thybulle, man.
I do too, man. Yeah, I have a good bit of Thybulle at PSA right now, actually, just because, like, man, you're able to find Thybulle so cheap in bargain bins places. You know what I mean? Like, I'm picking up, like, blue velocity optics and just all kinds of, like, Bible stuff like short printed out of bargain bins at card shows that are gradable, man. So yeah, I've been
picked up a short print off of Third Beast at our auction probably about a month or so ago, and yeah, it's just like a stash card. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have a lot into it, and I think it was numbered to 15,
Yeah.
and it was like team colors too. So I mean, if he turns into any type of star, man, he's going to be that's going to be one pickup for the ages right there. Dakota said he accidentally sold a Luca PSA 9 optic today for $151 on Star Stock. Yikes, my brother.
That's a hurt piece, man.
That is, man.
That sucks. Too bad there's nothing you can do for like that. You know what I mean? Like hit them up and be like, yo, I didn't mean to do that.
If it was eBay, it'd be like, yeah, I ain't sending that. That's what I get when I win like awesome like auctions for like super cheap that I'd slip through the cracks and everything like that.
Yeah, that's what happened. Remember that day I won that $400 Steph Curry rookie? And
Yeah.
they were like, no, you don't.
What up, CJ? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
Hey, CJ.
Harden went off the other night. He had 41 points. And then Tatum had he had a second 50-point game, I guess, counting the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second game with 50 points, and if the Celtics have any chance of, at least making a series against Brooklyn and taking it to at least 6 or 7 games, Tatum's going to have to be that guy.
Definitely.
Because luckily I bought it for 150, so it is what it is. But yeah, it sucked. Then that's not that big of a loss then. But having a card like that, especially in the playoffs now, we all hope to get that top dollar.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Still waiting for my Harden rookie to sell. I have it priced up high because, I think they're going to go to at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
If they don't get to the Eastern Conference, there's like something going on if they don't. Like a major blunder if they don't get there.
The only way I don't, depending on what Philly's health is, I think that's the only team that has a chance to kind of stop them in the East.
So I think Milwaukee has a shot too, but
yeah, they've been playing tough. They'll meet in the next round, I believe. I think that's how it goes, or whatever. When they advance, or whatever.
Dakota says, "Who are you looking to get right now?"
Honestly, for basketball, I'm done buying right now. For basketball, right now I'm looking at other sports. Football would be one area I would look into. I just got my Aaron Rodgers rookie back. I had people sending me messages on eBay trying to buy it for $950. Nah, I'm holding on that thing because if he goes and gets traded, cool. That'll make his prices spike. If he just comes back, I think his prices spike. But if he would retire, which I doubt, his prices might drop a little, and then it would be like one of those continually probably just rolling up type of cards that you see just kind of gaining traction little by little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I'm not gonna sell that now. I mean, unless I get a little more than what comps are going for, which I think a lot of people will have them above comps right now on eBay. I'm not selling mine.
Yeah. See, I would say for me, modern basketball, I'm still buying, but like I have a little bit different approach with modern. The way I kind of handle it, like I kind of have my flip game and like my investment game separate. So like more so my flip game is I target a lot of like the young guys that are, liquid, you know what I mean? Like the popular rookies and even some of like the, prospecty type rookies. And I just try to get them raw, grade them, flip them. You know what I mean? So like for me, like the market doesn't like even the dips don't even really affect as much for the flip side of things. It's only like whenever I really start looking into like the investment side of things, and really on that, what I'm looking to do is really capitalize on short print stuff. I've been picking up a lot of autos of players that I think are long-term holds. Like for example, Durant, like he's one of the more recent bigger purchases I've made. You know what I mean? I picked up one of his graded rookie autos because I think that, eventually that's going to be a lot bigger of a card than it is right now. But Yeah, so I just think the modern market, it's weird. You know what I mean? It's weird right now. It's not like it was last year where like literally Jason Tatum drops 50, his card is shooting through the roof already. You know what I mean? Like we're not seeing those type of like crazy numbers, so we're kind of like back to normal almost, like pre like explosion type. Um I mean, it's just weird. You know what I mean? Like I don't really know how to explain it. Like the numbers aren't shooting like they used to. But
No, you're not getting that game, like
yeah,
per game basis jumps that we're used to seeing.
there's still a lot of arbitrage out there though. You know what I mean? Like if you're like willing to like go and put in the work digging through stuff and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just not as easy as like it was like a year ago where like literally every single card was going up in value and stuff like that. Like for example, now like I had a lot of Tyler Hero. You know what I mean? A lot of it prices have just dropped tremendously. Now that they're in the playoffs, I'm hoping that they'll tick back up a little bit. But that's kind of the state of the modern market right now. What Hobby Beast? What up, my guy? Finest Fester. What up?
Uncle Fester wants to know what good Rodgers rookie to pick up for long term. Honestly, you will either get the Topps paper, or if you're able to invest, the big dollars, get the Chrome. The Chrome's going to be that piece that people are going to, pay up for. That's the go-to. But either one you can go with is a good buy. You know what I mean? But if you can afford the Chrome, definitely go Chrome.
Did you know what I've really been looking at a lot lately though? Like vintage football. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like a lot of the vintage football is very undervalued. Like in comparison, like, and I know football is not like a global sport like basketball or soccer or anything like that, but like, dude, I just think that there are some like really big players that their cards are a lot cheaper than they probably should be. You know what I mean? So I've been looking up a lot of, just like just like Dakota just said it in the chat, vintage football. Absolutely. Vintage football, man. And if you go to card shows and stuff, man, the stuff you can find that like people just like newer guys, like they might never heard of these players, but like there's good like vintage cards to even be found in like boxes just because sometimes people don't really know what they got. But yeah, like there's definitely some big plays to be made with the vintage football market, in my opinion.
Depending on who you're picking up, like if they're like the Montanas, the Jerry Rices, those type of guys who are considered the GOATs, I would definitely look into those type of dudes. But some of the vintage guys, if they're just a okay type of player, not really like a guy people talk about a lot or whatever, those type of guys kind of just seem to level out for the most part in my eyes. You know what I mean? You don't see the
Mm-hmm.
You won't see a spike. You'll see just just kind of a level, playing field. And I mean, unless you have something that's graded, that's just a heck of a, like a 9, PSA 9 or a PSA 8, like a 1950s or something like that. Of course, that will be something that'll go up over time a lot faster because it's, those grades are super hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
But, for the most part, you want to get guys that people will either see like on like, that go on ESPN or that are seen, they're not forgotten about, or they've set in some type of record or whatever. Those guys I would feel good buying or whatever the case is. But, on certain different ones, you know what I mean? To me,
what you want, like you want like the Hall of Fame players. You don't want to just get like, I mean, unless it's a PC thing, then by all means, you know what I mean? Fill up your PC full of those like obscure players. Like honestly, when it comes to Steelers, like I like the obscure ones better than the Hall of Fame ones. But yeah, I mean, like Nate's saying, like invest in those like Hall of Fame type players because their legacy is cemented already, and it's gonna do nothing but appreciate at that point.
So I was looking at some prices here on Tatum, just to get an idea of like what the market's doing, like what are people doing. And to me, like as the hobby has changed, so has like the cards and the jumps and stuff like that, where maybe we'd have seen everything kind of spiking. We're only seeing like the silver spike, like the green prism, and the base and everything else.
Because everybody's like, I'm not messing with base anymore. It's so overprinted. It's so overpopulated. You know what I mean? Like, and really, like, it's true. You know what I mean? In comparison, how many of those cards exist in like a PSA 10 compared to like the other colors? Like, you know what I mean? It's considerably less. So it does make it a more rare card. But
so like my thought is, like, if you're going to get some of these pieces, especially during playoff time, you don't want to get the base, of course. You don't want to get even like the one people want most is going to be like the color match. So like the green, the silver, those will be the first two to pop off, and that's where you'll see the most money on your investments and stuff moving forward. So that's kind of where, like, what I've been sitting on and looking at, and kind of, thinking how to do things differently to maximize, especially during the playoffs and stuff like that, because I don't have a lot of base stuff, but I do have some footprint stuff, but I don't have a lot of silver. I don't have a lot of, color match, unless it's, just happens to be like, I think I have a Zion purple optic that I guess the kind of color match with the jersey and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like, the market has always went with silver first, but it's interesting to see that the color match, like the team match, is starting to get that love too, versus anything else.
Yep, definitely.
Because even the red, white, and blues and stuff like that aren't really getting any type of a big love or whatever that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew they wouldn't get big love, but I figured they would get some type of push as well, just because those are short prints, as things go.
Yeah, team match has definitely been getting some real nice love as far as resale value and stuff like that.
I'm looking to see what John Morant's doing right now.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. It's a really good point.
Versus, I feel that Panini rising prices on wax will increase the price on secondary market. Scalpers don't care if it's 50 or 70. Panini seeing all that back end profit once more front. The only thing I hope for is, okay, if you're going to raise prices, which is, that's their company, they can do what they want. Don't print 2 million, face cards of each, guy or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're seeing, like, just on Tatum, for example, you're seeing 5,000 graded, base PSA 10s, and then you see 4,500 PSA 9s. I hope to not see that keep continuing to rise, and that's where we'll fall into almost like I don't want to say the 90s, because they're definitely doing stuff to keep that from happening. But you print the base enough, you open up a pack of cards like you open up a LaMelo base, and it's like, oh man, where at least you would get a little bit excited because there's some value there. But with how the base is getting just smeared all the time by just the overprints and stuff like that, it hurts a lot.
Chris makes a good point here too. He says he agrees in the modern, ultra modern, where there's so much base, but the older cards where there's not as widely printed, could be, for an instance, pick up players base. Yeah, I would suggest, base great in that, like LeBron James 03 Crops Chrome. Like, you don't necessarily need that kind of card in like a refractor or an X-fractor or like anything crazy for it to be like a huge card. So yeah, that's a huge point right there. Like the sets that weren't widely graded, you know what I mean? Like the older ones, even getting those in a base is really big. It's a good point, Chris.
I'm looking at Joe's stuff right now, man. He's still not getting love after 47 points he had last night, and a 35-point game, I think, in game one.
Mm-hmm.
Still not really getting any love. It's kind of mind-boggling to me.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, watching these playoffs, I'm telling myself, I need to buy more Joe. I need to buy more Luka. like these guys are like, they're insanely talented.
I mean, like, with Luka, I think, the masses love him, of course. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But for whatever reason, Even his silvers and stuff like that aren't going up. I mean, they're just steadily on the downside.
Yeah.
I'm about to see what Lucas stuff is doing just to kind of get a comparison just of how the masses are kind of looking at his value and stuff. I saw him go out. Say something. Oh, you're muted. Because I think these young players playing well in the playoffs aren't increasing their prices, just stopping them from dropping further. I think we are at the bottom for Luka, Ja, and Tatum. I think for Ja, you almost have to be. Tatum, I like Tatum a lot. I just think he, especially in these playoffs, he's going to have to show like he's that guy, and he has to be that guy. He has to be the Jordan of their team. You know what I mean? And if not, then I don't look at him the same. I've seen Jaylen Brown kind of take over games and do things where with Tatum, I think sometimes he waits for his team to decide like it's Tatum time, in other words. So it's weird. Let me show you guys Ja's prices here, right? I'm sorry, Luka's. Luka's has spiked, especially his silvers. His silver went from 5,300 for a PSA 10 to 6,000 to 6,500. So it went up $1,500 and then went down just a little bit. I believe that was today. It went down $200. So I mean, it's taken a dramatic jump. Compared to I haven't seen anybody so far that I've looked up today that had this kind of spike. So I think whenever you're looking at guys, you almost have to look at what the masses are thinking about these guys. You know what I mean? Like, is everyone on the hype train with Luka? Of course, everyone's been on the hype train for basically since COVID hit. People went crazy, and that's why his prices went insane. You know what I mean? So, with all these guys, their prices have either continued to kind of drag down and not have the type of love that we expected. And with Luka, he's holding and raising some, especially his silvers is just going out of for it to almost go up 25% or something like that. I mean, that's a heck of a jump. We'll look at Harden, see what his prices are doing. Harden had a spike as well on 5/21. His PSA 10 was 2,600, and it went up to 5,500 the day after that, and then it went down a little bit to 4,000 on the 23rd. His card has went nuts again.
Yeah. What's up, Derek? Good to see you, my man. Appreciate you being here.
What up, D-Rock?
Yeah, Chris said that he's trying to look at numbered cards now for these players. They tend to hold a little more value. Yeah, I agree. Numbered stuff is amazing to pick up. Anything that's like limited print is definitely going to be more rare and more like desirable in the future, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the, especially if you get a player like, like Luka or anything like that, you see cards just go through the roof. Those are the cards people want, because there's only a select amount of those printed, and there's a huge demand for anything Luka, or back when Zion was a rookie, Zion, Ja, those type of guys. So, those are like those collector pieces, show pieces that people want to have in their collections.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. So who you bullish on? And you say you're going mainly after football right now? Are you doing baseball? Like what's like? Because I know you've been doing a lot of baseball breaks, right?
I was doing some with Papa J. Just trying to get into the market. Kind of, I like random team breaks. I feel like they're the best value, for everybody. And if you hit the team, you hit a team. Sometimes you might not even hit your team, and then you get something awesome anyway. So I've been doing a good bit of those. I haven't done any in probably like a week or two, but I'm trying to switch my attention to football because I just feel like that market is going to be a little bit better than.
Mhm.
I have better knowledge in football than baseball as well, so that's
Yeah.
the reason why I kind of switched.
Yeah, definitely, man. I've been looking a lot of football myself lately as well. I think just with like basketball season winding down, you know what I mean? Like it'll still be a good time to buy basketball. I don't think I'm ever going to stop buying basketball, but I definitely think I'm going to start like really stocking up for some decent, moves come football season.
I just feel that the reason why I'm not buying anything like basketball right now is just because I know the deflate is coming. You know what I mean? Where okay, the playoffs are over or they're nearing. Most teams are out of the playoffs. You'll see stuff go down 10, 15, 20%
Oh,
in
yeah.
certain cases.
Definitely.
So I'd rather just hold off, wait for those numbers to kind of, hit and decrease. And then I'm picking up stuff with value where, if stuff would stay where it's at after the decrease, then, I'm still at the even playing field. I'm not down, say $50 on a card or $100 on a card. And then when it bounces up some, I'm still not even breaking even because of fees or whatever the case is. So that's more or less why I've kind of stayed away from hoop. I feel like if you're getting any of these players these deals or whatever, unless you could snipe something, one of those like 2 a.m. type things where it's just a super deal. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get as good value as you hope for.
Yeah. What's up, BJ? Good to see you, my man.
What up? Looking up Kevin Durant, there's not really that much sales data on his like PSA 10, especially his black. It just was on the rise. Last time it sold, went from 10,000 to 11,000. So his cards, we'll see. I think we'll continue to see that as they advance, as they win. Just their card, the net stuff keep going up. See what my prism from.
What's up, Henry? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here.
What up, Henry? Kyrie's starting to go up a little bit, which is good.
Nice.
I can't believe his card dipped the way it did. In February, it was almost $700 for his PSA 9.
Yep.
And now it's like right at $300. So honestly, like if you're able to pick up a PSA 9 or better, if you can get it now, that's actually not a bad pickup, to be honest.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame you there.
Because his cards are back. They're starting to rise again. His PSA 10 is like around $900, and it was at $1,800 back in April.
Nice. Derek posted a few jaws. That's what's up, dude. Which I'll have to go look. I haven't even checked, to be honest with you. So Haskins, buy or avoid? 9s and 10s are cheap.
How cheap?
Look them up.
That's more or less like a super risky, but if it works out, you're it's like printing money basically, because he's not going to probably get an opportunity till at the earliest,
unless Ben gets hurt
next year. Well, we don't want to say that now.
I'm not speaking that into being, God forbid. I'm just saying if Ben gets hurt, we have a literal first-round draft pick quarterback on the bench behind him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I put zero stock in the Washington football team as an organization, like zero. You know what I mean? So, I think any other organization probably would have done better with Haskins. So, I don't fully think Haskins is a bust. So I think he has potential yet. So if you can get him cheap enough and you believe in him, like really that's what it's going to boil down to. Like, do you believe in Dwayne Haskins as a player? But I mean, he says 10 is 40. I mean, for $40, if you even like Dwayne Haskins, like I hear it all the time, buy what you like. You know what I mean? So if you like Dwayne Haskins, scoop that card, man. $40, that's nothing. If he gets any type of shine, you know what I mean? Or like say he even gets signed by another team, might bring some hype and might give his card a little bit of spike in price.
Now, what I would buy is his silver PSA 10, which the last one sold 3 days ago for $76. Now, if he gets any type of love, he goes to another team, whatever the case is, he gets, Ben gets hurt, knock on wood. He gets some playing time. He wins a couple games. That card will instantly go to $400 or $500 just off of sheer, him getting, some wins and he's on a quality team.
I honestly might go do that exact thing. Go scoop a 10 for $40. Honestly, that's not a bad play. Because honestly, he's a Steeler. I don't have any of his cards graded, actually. I've actually started PCing him though since he became a Steeler. But yeah, that's not a bad play at all. I actually might even send some of the stuff I have for grading, maybe.
Yeah, I'm saying right now, buy it now for a select silver 10s, $80.
Nice.
But I would wait on an auction and just scoop up a.
That's normally what I do. I do the expiring auctions, so like in the middle of the night, because like it's like the dumbest time to ever schedule an auction to end. But I don't think people like fully think through like what they're doing when they're setting up auctions sometimes. Brett says, do you have a gut feeling when vintage basketball may see a rise again? I'm hoping we see a little bit of a rise when this Magic documentary comes out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you consider Magic like 80, 81 like vintage or not, or if you're thinking like 70s older, 60s older. I'm hoping like these documentaries they're doing are going to have that Last Dance effect and not so much like that Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa effect where it like didn't really do much for the value of the card.
Yeah, I think we might see a little bit of a rise before or as it comes out, and then you'll probably see it kind of, just slowly slope back down a little bit. It's kind of happened with Jordan stuff and everything else. So when his, documentary came out, with the Bulls run and everything like that, where his stuff just went crazy, like leading up to it, and then it came out, and then it just slowly started to dip. And I ended up buying on the back end of that dip. And, that's how I got my Kobe and my Hardens and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, Derek, I'm not saying Washington's a bad team, like play-wise. I'm just saying, like, organizationally, I think they're a bad team. You know what I mean? Like, they've just been dysfunctional for the better part of 20 years. You know what I mean? So, like, and then I look at them and, like, they can't even pick a team name. You know what I mean? Like, that just doesn't look good to me. Like I'm not saying that they have bad players or anything. They have Chase Young. That dude's an animal. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're going to be a good team. I just don't like them as an organization or like the way they're run. Essentially, is kind of what I don't like.
Yeah, I mean to just cut a first round pick like that over some just immaturity type stuff. Some of that is like the locker room presence of veteran leadership. Some of it could be just, the coaching, the personnel and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They've had a lot of off the field issues inside their organization for years, from what their reports were saying of owner and XYZ of all kind of crazy stuff. So, I mean, sometimes going to a team that just has a good set up, you see so many guys go to New England and go out there and flourish and ball out and have no problems. And sometimes you see guys just, basically go there, and then if they don't work out, they're out of the league, because if you can't succeed in some of these awesome, teams and their organizations, then, you're basically, that's it. You know what I mean?
That's how I always remember the Redskins, because when I was growing up, they were always that team that was spending big money to get these older free agents in, and then literally they would suck on their team. Their team would still suck. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel bad because now there's going to be like Redskins fans like, oh, I can't believe you're crapping. Like, I'm a Pirates fan. I get it. Like, I totally get it. Like I totally, you know what I mean? Like, I understand dysfunctional franchises and stuff. And BJ gets it. Sacramento, exactly. Like, it's that I just don't think he had a proper chance to flourish like in that environment is kind of what I meant as far as Haskins' specific situation. And honestly, Mike Tomlin's not going to put up with like no immaturity. Like, Mike Tomlin will like put him in his place. You know what I mean? Like that's like the Sacramento, yeah. Well, dude, that's awesome that you're a fan like of a team that is like been traditionally bad. You know what I mean? Like that shows some like loyalty and like some real fandom.
But yeah, I mean, it's all based on your organization, your coaching, all that type of stuff. Because I mean, like for example, if you draft a quarterback or whatever the case is, you usually have a great quarterback coach or somebody who's gonna, who's used to working with these guys, who gets the most out of them or whatever to help them. But if you come in thinking you're Hollywood right off the bat and thinking you're just this awesome player and you haven't really done anything in the league, you kind of get that ego, that mindset, and then it kind of goes around the locker room and turns into that. I mean, especially like you were saying, like you see these high dollar free agents go there and kind of just flop, and it's because of they got their money, they're happy, and they're not competitive, or they weren't competitive at the time, so they were trying to buy their wins versus cultivating a good organization and everything like that.
Exactly. Spider says Bengals are in the same boat. Hope Burrow is the change. I hope so too, man. Like, dude, that guy is special. Like, the thing with him is, like, can they protect him and keep him healthy? Because he's coming off of a big knee injury, and his O-line sucks. You know what I mean? So that's going to be the big thing is, can they keep him protected? Because he's got the weapons already. You know what I mean? So it's going to be real interesting to see his development. But when they drafted him, I was like, crap, I don't want that guy in our division. Because we already got Baker and Lamar. No more good quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think so too, Derek. He came out too early, and then he had like that AB, type of thing. And I mean, part of it is the social media that, what I mean? Like, you build a brand. So this way, no matter if you flop in football, you have a YouTube presence, or you have a Twitch presence, or you just play games or do whatever, you know what I mean? And, people see the value in doing that, because then it opens up so many more doors to so many different things. And, you just have to perform on the field, and then that kind of takes care of itself, where he was putting that above everything. And I think that's where the problem laid with him in Washington, and their head coach said that they had enough. They had a guy like Alex Smith who was told he'll never play in the NFL again, and then look, he had a chance to start and win a lot of decent amount of games last year. So
I like Alex Smith. He seems like a really solid dude, like just personally.
I think it's crazy is he got selected number 1, and Aaron Rodgers got selected like what, 23rd or
24th,
something like that.
Yeah,
and like Aaron Rodgers is probably like a 10 times better quarterback than Alex Smith, and probably will play another 4 or 5 years, hopefully, in the league.
What do you think would have happened though, like if Aaron Rodgers was that number 1 pick and he went to San Francisco? Like, do you think he would have had the career he had, like learning behind Brett Favre and, being in that great Packers organization? Because that's a storied history franchise, right? The Packers. I'm not saying the 49ers aren't, but you know what I mean? Like, you're behind friggin' Brett Favre learning how to play quarterback. Like, what a position to find yourself in.
I think Bill Walsh was still in the organization at that point. So with that being said, I still think he would have had the same, type of career. It's kind of hard to kind of judge and say, about him and the 49ers and everything. But because, I mean, like, as, he would have been a better quarterback for them right off the bat if he would have played the same as he did with the Packers, and their team would have been totally different, draft-wise, everything else. So it's kind of hard to say like exactly, but I he was a big 49er fan all of his life. He was out there in California. You know, it's kind of a storybook type of a scenario for the guy and for the 49ers, but they picked him, but it just didn't work out, and they thought Alex Smith was the guy. You know, with the offense that you know, the 49ers were running at the time, it seemed like a little bit of a West Coast offense, a short pass, like mobile quarterback, rolling out of the pocket, stuff like that. So, I mean, if you're looking at intangibles, you know, Alex Smith probably was best suited for that offense because of his mobility was probably at the time was a lot, you know, well, I don't say a lot better, but he can scramble a little bit better than Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is a total package, man. He could come out the pocket, he could throw. I mean, he can't. There's not a throw on the field that he can't make. So
yeah, that's right, BJ. He's a Cali boy, huh? Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
dude, I need to get out to Cali and meet up with BJ sometime, man.
Yeah. It's kind of sad to see, you know, him sit and then, you know, his favorite team not pick him, and that probably crushed him. But that might have motivated him to the player he is today. You know what I mean?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, honestly, I would look football. You know, looking at cards and stuff like that. I'm looking at football, trying to see who's what where, and also I think this year's draft is going to help out a lot with the other players too. I think it's going to bring a little more, you know, a lot more hype into football. You know, especially Lawrence and everything like that. People are going to be going crazy trying to open up packs and finding him in card, you know, and everything. So.
Yeah, so BJ said hometown hero. Everybody was crying except for him because he's a Raider guy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, that would be like the Lakers passing on Lonzo when they picked him because he was like kind of like the hometown guy that everybody was like hype about.
Who was the
or it could be like, what was it, like Mikal Bridges, who like didn't his mom like work for like the 76ers organization or something like that? And then they draft him and he's like crying, like, I can't believe I'm going to be a Sixer. And like 15 minutes later, he's traded to Phoenix. Could always have that experience too.
James Conner, he got drafted by the Steelers. Big PA guy, went through tons of craziness to just even play, and now he's Arizona Cardinal.
Yep, Pittsburgh West. That's where all of the old Steelers go. That's where the Steelers go when they're no longer good.
where they go to be serviceable for another year or two.
Yeah.
So what do you got planned for your rest of your day?
I got to edit a vlog. We went to a brand new card shop the other night in Dormont. And we did a little bit of a vlog there. And, dude, it was awesome. Like, we went to open up some Chronicles packs there. And the owner, he used to do, like, I guess, IG breaks and stuff like that. He brought out this thing he clipped on his table. And it was, like, something to, like, hold my phone and had a light and everything. And it was like, wow. Like, of all the LCSs that we've been to, like, to record or to, like, do wax or anything like that, no one's, like, ever offered to, like, make it a better experience like that. So I thought that was super cool. So big shout out to them. I want to say it was, man, I got to remember what that, I got it written down. I'll give their name in the vlog later today, but yeah, they were pretty dope. It's over in Dormont, PA.
Deafness, what up, man? It's all
good.
Def?
No worries, bro. Well, another time, man. No worries at all.
We'll get you on here,
dude. That would be sick, dude. Yeah, dude. LA. Oh man, Burbank. Yeah, I need to go to all them shops that Sasha T hangs out at, bro. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to be with all the people that show up with little briefcases of slabs. That's where I want to hang out.
Speaking of which, I need to get something like that for Chicago.
Dude, I can't wait for Chicago. Chicago is going to be amazing, bro.
Yeah, Burbank's like the sports card capital of the world, kind of.
Yeah, no worries, Def. I'm the same way, man. I literally have to, like, write sticky notes and put them everywhere, else I forget to, like, do everything. But you're all good, man. No worries. You know, you're all guy.
It happens. What time's the first hoop game come on today?
I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I haven't even checked. I would imagine they'd have an afternoon game rocking. It's Saturday, you know?
Actually, the Heat Bucks are on now.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't know Milwaukee's up 3-1. I thought it was 2-0. Oh, they might close out the season tonight then.
Oh, dude, you know what's going to happen? They're going to go into that game, and Giannis is going to be like, hey, guess what, guys? Eat the horns.
Yeah, I think they'll close out, man. I think Drew Holiday is going to be that piece that is going to make them advance a lot farther in the playoffs.
I like Drew Holiday. That dude is so underrated.
Like, see what he did in game one, man. He stole that pass and scored at the end to win. I mean, that's huge. You know what I mean? That's huge.
Yep.
I mean, to jump ahead, go up, 1-0 in the series, and instead of the opposite way, and it just sets the tone and lets them know, like, okay, you squeaked one by us and we won, but like, it's going to be a dogfight the whole series, and they blew them out last game, that's for sure. What was it about, like 20?
Miami's up 5 right now, Derek said.
Yeah,
Miami's a good team, though. You know what I mean? Like, Miami beat them last year, and like, essentially, like, I think the Bucks are a little bit better, but I don't think Miami's like any worse. I mean, barring, like, obviously they've dealt with injuries and stuff this year. You know what I mean? But I mean, so they have the potential to take the Bucks. It's just, I think the Bucks are a better team this year.
I think them losing Jay Crowder was a bigger piece than they thought it would be. You know what I mean? He can kind of he plays good defense. He's a great 3-point shooter. I don't know about great, but he's good. He shoots either in the close to 40 or right around 40%. He rebounds. He's a good team guy, and he brings that attitude. And
he got all of those assets from that half a year he spent in Cleveland. But yes, go ahead and continue.
I need like a adult button. I was waiting for it to get brought up, but yeah, man, like, I don't know. I just don't think I don't think the Heat are the same team. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler's a year older. He's been battling injury. I mean, he's still a good player. He still does his thing, but Duncan Robinson, I thought he took strides forward. Tyler Hero's kind of been a disappointment to me.
He really has been. Derek basically just hit the nail on the head. Miami's just been shooting terrible, and like, that's the thing. Miami is a team that's built to be like a efficient shooting team. So when a team like that is not shooting well, like, they just can't win. You know what I mean? You can't win a game with a team built their way if you can't shoot efficiently. Yeah,
I mean, if you got Tyler Hero shooting threes and Duncan Robinson basically shooting like run up threes anytime he catches the ball anywhere on the half court.
He should. That's Duncan Robinson's role. He's basically like the younger JJ Redick type role player. You know what I mean? Like, where he just gets the ball as soon as it touches his hands, boom, should be gone.
Right. But I mean, you live and die with that. I mean, and I think that's how a lot of teams are kind of set up for the most part. I mean, unless you're like the Grizzlies, they don't shoot a ton of threes. They shoot some, but they live off the twos. Looks like the Wizards. You know what I mean? That's what their game is. They're not a big 3-point shooting team, but like a lot of these teams, as you got it gets close to the finals, and as the playoffs progress, you'll see these teams just shoot 3 after 3 and just make them all the time, because that's why they're there. That's why they win all these games, because that extra point, that extra, and then that possession, that adds up over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about the Lakers, man? You think you're going to still be dominant?
Yeah, dude. I think the Lakers they're most likely going to win the West.
Think?
Dude, I can see, honestly, like I've been saying since the beginning, I think the Clippers could be like a dark horse in the West because no one's talking about them. But yeah, dude, I think the Lakers, man, like I still think that they are the best team in the West.
Like, man.
Who do you think's going to take the West?
See, like the Clippers, I don't even think they might not even make it out of the first round. They're down 2-1 to Dallas. You know what I mean? That's going to be a struggle for them to even win that series. So I don't look at the Clippers. Dallas is a great team because of Luka, and he makes everyone else around him better. But they live and die off 3-point shots, so they're a streaky team. I don't know. I think it's I think the Lakers, if they do win the West, they caught Phoenix at a good time because Chris Paul got that shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul out of the game playing limited minutes or not playing 100%, that hurts that team a lot because he is a lot better player than Cameron Payne.
Yeah. BJ is asking if I still have that Holiday rookie. I sold mine, but I have one that belongs to Marty that is in his like consignment pile. So yeah, so technically I do have one, just not the same one. His is probably in better condition than mine was anyway. Mine was from like a bargain box. I think he bought his from like an eBay lot or something.
I mean, Portland could be a surprise team. They're down right now to Denver, but it's gonna fall down to, I think, 2 or 3 teams that has a chance to win the West. I think Utah. I think they're probably one of the stronger teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think Portland's going to take Denver to 7 games and possibly win. And if they do, I don't want to see Dame Lillard go up against the Lakers, and that would be the next team.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Lakers play Denver, I think they would easily win that series. They have Gasol, who can easily match up and play good defense against Joker, and then you have Drummond and AD that can play D on Joker. I mean, you got a lot of bodies like third Joker. So I mean, honestly, if they would play against Denver or Denver somehow would advance, I think they're in good shape. But I think it's going to come down to Lakers, Utah. I think is going to be the Eastern or Western Conference Finals.
Dude, I would like to see Utah get some kind of shine in advance, dude, because I'm a really big fan of Donovan Mitchell. You know what I mean? He's definitely a guy he's one of the guys that I'm invested in, you know what I mean? That I think that he's a long-term hold as far as like modern players. But man, like if I just don't feel like their team has that it factor, you know what I mean? To win a championship yet. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they need like one more piece. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Gobert is that second guy. I think he might be like a third guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great defensive player, but I think like Donovan Mitchell needs like, one more big weapon.
I mean, compared to last year they didn't have Bogdan. He's been crushing it.
Dude, speaking of Kawhi leaving the Clippers, what if he went to Utah, bro? Can you imagine Kawhi Leonard on that team, the way he plays defense and the way they play defense? Oh my God, that would be disgusting, dude.
When you play 2K, that's usually one of the teams he goes to. Like,
really?
Play like season mode a lot, so I wouldn't doubt that. But they also signed Gobert to a huge contract, which I don't.
Don't get me wrong. I like Gobert. It's just that, you know what I mean. Like, as like a big two. Like, I want to see more offense. Like, I know Gobert can ball, and he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think on like 2K, what is he, like an 87 or like an 89 overall? Like, so he's like a decently rated player. Like, I just think that, man, if Mitchell had like a Kawhi or like a big addition like that team would be like unstoppable. You know what I mean? Imagine like Gobert just being able to be that defensive beast of a force, and literally like that just opens the floor so much bigger. You know what I mean? And then it honestly probably helps Gobert's offensive game, because then there's not as much attention on him too, because everybody's like, oh crap, Donovan Mitchell and this other dude who's like equally as like awesome is out there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just my opinion. Like, I think they're a good team. I just like personally, I don't think they can take Brooklyn.
See, my thought is like, whenever you're signing a guy to like a supermax deal, he can't be a guy that plays defense and only scores like 10 points. You know what I mean? And you see teams like the 76ers kind of have that with like Ben Simmons, where Ben Simmons, he does a little more than I would say Gobert does, but I don't think he's like a supermax, quality type guy that you sign. Where like, if you'd have got Gobert for say because he's next year. I think it's either this year or next year. I think it starts the 5-year, $205 million contract, which is $50 million a year, which is crazy for someone who doesn't really put up a lot of points. And
he's important to the team though, like defensively and everything like that. And he sets a tone. So like I get why they're giving him the money, but
I would have never did that. I would have saved that money, and you could pick up a Kawhi type guy, even if it was for a couple years.
Well, the problem is, like, does a Kawhi Leonard want to like live and play in Utah? You know what I mean? I think that's going to be the big thing. That might be why they paid him. Like, I think that's one of the main reasons the Cavs were like, "Hey, Kevin Love, do you want like a contract that's going to be like terrible? Because like we don't know if we can get like Pro Bowl or not Pro Bowl, but All-Star caliber talent to want to come and live in this city and be a part of the team." You know what I mean? So I think having a Donovan Mitchell there definitely it is a big perk for coming there. But outside of like that, like I don't think Utah's a real desirable location. You know what I mean?
So I wouldn't say. The thing is, like, teams want to win. You see guys like Wesley Matthews and these other guys who go to the Lakers and go to other teams for the minimum because they want to win championships, where Utah was the best team in the NBA, had the best record in the NBA. You know what I mean? So if they can go deep in the playoffs this year, even if they don't go to the finals, say they go to the Eastern or Western Conference finals, that says something about kind of where they're at, especially with Donovan Mitchell and kind of what their team's at, and how they play. People will come there, especially if, those veterans that make a big difference, especially playoff time. You see Matthews come in, he shoots a three, he plays good defense, plays hard, dives up to the balls. That type of guy for the minimum is a steal. And those type of guys during the playoff times is how you win championships, because when people get hurt, you need them extra minutes where they're able to play it like that. But like I said, like you put all your eggs in the basket with Gobert and, with Mitchell. Mitchell, of course, I agree with, but like Gobert I don't agree with that, man. Like, he's not worth. And I think Shaq, we even said the same thing. Like, how do you pay a guy Supermax who only scores like 9 or 10 points in that first career? I mean, he's a defensive presence, but you can get so much more with the max in the market, So I don't know.
I get it. Like I said, I don't know if what their mindset was. Like, if they were concerned, hey, maybe we won't be able to get that type of caliber player to come here, to pair, because then they might be thinking, man, we don't keep Rudy, then what's going to happen when it's Donovan's time and like our team is not as good? You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if that's what they're thinking or not, but like those are some things that just like pop in my mind right off the bat with why that might have happened with the way they were building their team structurally.
But I mean, we shall see. It's playoffs. People play better. They ball out for the playoffs. We'll see what Gobert does. We'll see what the Jazz do, who are 1-1 the series. They play tonight, I believe, Game 3 versus the Grizzlies. Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's been a nice series too, man. Because you get to watch a little Ja, you get to watch a little Donovan. Dude, that Memphis team is hungry, man. Like, they don't quit at all.
Trying to look at Gobert. Gobert had 16 points. If you can average 16 points, as like his average through the season, then it's not as bad because you're getting the rebounding, you're getting the defense. Average. He's had 3.5 blocks so far in the playoffs. That's not too bad. But maybe that's 8 points a game.
You want to see something else disgusting?
Never mind. That might be.
You see how that Memphis team is fighting and scrapping right now?
Yeah.
Is there Kawhi Leonard next year on that team? Oh my goodness, dude.
It could.
Can you imagine, like, should he just be like, okay, Clippers, like, you guys are not, like, working out, and just – there's so many teams he could just insert himself and automatically be in the title picture.
Yeah, I mean, you go to a young team like that where, Josh still on his rookie deal or whatever,
Yeah, then you got Jaren yet.
Yeah, I mean, that would be solid. Then you could play Dylan Brooks at the 2, and then you play Kawhi at the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's a solid lineup where, the whole team – that's one thing nice about the Grizzlies is everyone kind of just pitches in. I mean, Ja had 47 points the other day, but you know what I mean? For the most part, they're all kind of evenly scoring together. They're all playing solid together. You know what I mean? So like, you if you had a guy like that, where Kawhi, even if Kawhi doesn't have put in 25 a night like normal or whatever, and he only does 18, it's not a huge loss. But I mean, having a player that still plays deep, plays hard, and works on his craft and is hungry, you know what I mean? That's how you win championships, man.
I agree completely. I think honestly, the only reason Kawhi went to the Clippers is because he wanted to play in his hometown because he's from Los Angeles. So you know what I mean? Like, I think if he wants to like play winning basketball, he needs to like go to an organization that is built to win. You know what I mean? Like, not saying the Clippers can't; they're capable, but I think they need to make a couple moves to better suit that team to make a deeper run or whatnot. And there hasn't really been great free agents these past few years either. Like, there hasn't been any like big like bombshell like players moving since Kawhi.
Honestly, I don't see Kawhi re-signing, especially with how the playoffs are going right now. He'll definitely hit the market next year. Because I would never go back to that team if I was Kawhi, especially because of Paul George and how things went last year. And I mean, if they get bounced again, early, not even close to the finals, I mean, it's a huge disappointment, I'm sure, for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure there's a lot of teams that could free up a lot of space that would easily want to sign him to some type of deal.
Absolutely.
But I get why he signed why he signed in LA in general. That's his hometown. He wanted to start history there and to win its first championship, to get it to the finals. It's never been there. You know what I mean? And I get that. But he should have went to the Lakers if possible, man.
My God, could you imagine like if Kawhi was on the Lakers and them versus Brooklyn? Like, would that be the All-Star game?
Basically.
That would be insane. My God.
That would be. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I like how the playoffs are turning out right now. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, even the Brooklyn lost the game. You know what I mean? There's really no team other than the Bucks right now, I think, that are undefeated so far. I think everyone is basically at least won one game, I believe, unless I'm wrong about that. But I don't think anybody else can close it out right this sec. Yeah, everyone's lost. Lost at least one game, but Milwaukee. So I mean, it makes it interesting. It makes it fun. It doesn't make it like, oh, this is going to be a guaranteed runaway, for this team all the way through the playoffs. And it was kind of like that last year. It was always like the Lakers and Clippers, and that's why everyone talked about. Where this year, I wish Jamal Murray was healthy because Denver would be in the picture even more. You know what I mean? Like, because Joker was balling out, and he still is, but it's a lot harder for him now because Murray and him are such a good 1-2 punch.
Yep.
But I mean, you even got New York fans going crazy. I was watching that game when they won the other night on Game 2, and it was awesome to see Madison Square Garden packed. Mm-hmm. And like the fans going nuts. Spike Lee was in attendance.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what having the Knicks back into like basketball, like I don't want to say greatness because they're not like the top team, but yeah, they're definitely relevant again, which it makes basketball great again. You know what I mean? Like, and it does, and like every team honestly has basically a good shot to advance. I mean, of course, Brooklyn, Lakers, and a couple other chosen teams probably have a little bit easier path to get to the finals because of their team strength. But I mean, you're going to have that every year. But I think this year it's a little more even. Milwaukee has a great chance. I mean, Miami's doing good today. Hopefully, who knows? They could come back. I mean, they're built to do that. They go on hot streaks. So. But I think it's time to shut it down, man. Anything you want to add before we leave?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody tomorrow over on my channel, 4 p.m. Eastern time, we're having a live sports card auction, and I have tons of new inventory to show you guys, so come on out and buy my stuff. That'd be awesome. I'm going to drop a link to the auction right there. You can click it, set a reminder. Someone go over there and hit that subscribe button because I got 3 6s in my sub count. I don't like it. So hook a brother up.
All right, guys, we are out of here. Have a fantastic Sunday or Saturday, and don't forget to check out that our auction tomorrow, 4 p.m., and go watch some hoop.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you guys.